Morning, guys. Just trying to get my focus on, and then we'll be good to go. We're live again in Wiltshire, England, at my home, and we're going to try and capture some more UAP. And we had such a good day yesterday, and we've got a slight fog this morning. So I thought, well, what a good time to try, knowing that we haven't got many bugs around right now. Just trying to get the balance right and get the focus right. Sometimes it helps just to get the camera to focus on an object, like a house. And once you've got the focus, apparently where I want it to be, I keep losing the focus, but we'll get there. There or thereabouts. I just want to pop it up just a little bit if I can. Please don't lose the focus. Typical, isn't it? Bloody typical. Right, we're there or thereabouts. Good morning. Hope everyone's good. Okay, just getting my channel all loaded up there so that I can see. There he is. What's happening, Josh? Yeah, I thought I'd give it another go today just because we had such a good video yesterday, really successful. I've never seen a Dragon UAP so clear. And we've got a little bit of fog in the air today, so I figured, well, let me turn it down a bit. How's that, any good? Camera's a bit bouncy today. There's a little bit of a breeze. I've actually got the camera inside my flat, so you would have thought that I would have tackled this whole wind situation. Get that. Oh yeah, it's blowing straight into me there, that's why. Can you hear the workmen downstairs? Now I'm guessing everyone's going to be busy this time of morning. I wish I could, mate. I wish I could. Tell them all to bog off. Really not happy with this view. I don't want to mess around too much, but I want to try and get a bit higher up on the old camera here. Really muggy day out there, so I'm not going to do this for long. Hopefully we capture something. That's the shot we had yesterday, pretty much, isn't it? Maybe we'll get away with that. I'll go get away with your live abduction, mate. Mate, if they've got a McDonald's breakfast on board, I'm there. Oh, I am there, mate. Don't worry. I'm already fairly confident that we've captured a UAP with occupants inside drinking a Starbucks coffee. By the way, I'm fairly confident. Either that, or I was looking through some binoculars or something. What's up, man? How you doing? Just doing a little bit of recording. It's a little bit foggy out there this morning, so I'm going to try and capture a UAP. Maybe they'll show up this morning. Who knows? Hey, I shit you not, mate. I shit you not. That one in Oklahoma, that saucer in Oklahoma that we had a really good shot of. I done some enhancements on that thing, and it looked like it was drinking. It looked like it was sat there drinking Starbucks or having a coffee or something. Come on. In a minute, it'll just go, oh yeah. See if I can tweak just a little bit. Right, the worst thing about that saucer is being sat in the chair, in the driver's seat, so to speak, has little legs, man. It's kind of like resembles what we've seen on the internet in the past, like, you know, when we see like an alien body laying on the grass and everyone's like, oh, that's fake. It looked like that. I shit you not. This phone's just being daft again, isn't it? Look, perfect focus on the houses. The moment I go above the houses, it's like, nah, go away. I just want to get slightly above that window there, so I'm not being a peeping Tom. That's all. Fick off, come on. Right. Let's get a refocusing on the house. It's got to be said though, right? It's got to be said. There you go. Do you know what that'll do? I'm in focus. Virtually got the same shot as yesterday, just a little bit lower than I'd like, but what can you do? Is the website going well then, mate? That's amazing that you're already second on the list on Google, buddy. That's amazing. We just need to get some evidence chucked in there, right? You're gonna create a little section for me. I've got some stuff that you can put in there, man. Dude, honestly, they probably do. I'll have the police knocking around my house soon. They'll be like, "What are you doing, mate? Putting your camera in front of people's homes." I'm going to say, "Look, I'm filming UFOs, mate. Bug off." Yeah, you could add it. You could add it to the forums, mate. You could add a forum on there so that you've got a board of people that are just piling in. I mean, if it's popular, you may as well open it up because people will find it easily then. Either way, I'll get arrested. Yeah, you're probably right. I wasn't even funny yesterday though, man. When you spoke about me getting abducted, then my door went. That was not good. Right, so just having a fag leaning out the window here, and I'm fairly confident I just saw one above my head height, so it's not, the camera may not have picked it up. I'm fairly confident I just saw one with my own eyes just sit past the, it might have, yeah, you know what, it might have been on camera there, I don't know. Yesterday I looked back at all the live stream from yesterday, and it turns out every time I suspected there was a UAP that went past, there was. And the ones that there was one in particular I was kind of like, didn't quite go as fast as I wanted it to, and they were birds. So it's a fine line. It's a fine line between the speed, trying to pick up the different speed with these things, but too early for that, mate. Bit too early for that. It's just one of them things, mate. Once you see it, you can't unsee it, you know? Never too early, but depends what you got to do, right? I've got a function for most of the day. Mind you, that Robert Shape video, mate. If I throw pennies out my window, mate, there's a chance I'm going to hit someone. And then I might have the police at my door. Now, I personally haven't seen one yet this morning on the screen. Has anyone seen anything zip by? It's all been a bit quiet so far. Yesterday it was like... Yesterday was rampant. And by the way, John at Latchkey, he emailed me virtually after he left the chat, and he already done a clip, like a clip of my video, and it was an amazing capture that he managed to put together for me and emailed it over, so I'll show it on the channel at some point. But this thing sort of goes from behind the building and comes right up to me and then pisses off. It's just, it's crazy. Yeah, honestly, like, I'm going to support Dr. Shipe. He's just being ignored, shadow banned and ignored, you know. So we we've got to get on top of it. Did I just have one come past? Morning, Malcolm. How are we? I feel like this is going to be a regular occurrence, you know. Do a live stream in the morning, do a video at night. I think I like that idea. Certainly want to do this on a Saturday as well, to give people a chance to get involved. So I think we're gonna do that as often as we can. And as the weather gets warmer, I will go to different locations. Why not? Yeah, he really is, you know, and because he's an old guy and he's a pharmacist, I think a lot of people higher up just expect him to fail, and people won't listen to him. It's very much been the case. But now I'm on his side and I'm going to help. There's no way they're going to shut me up very easily. I did, yeah. I did have a nose. I see you got Barber's face all over it as well. Let's hope psionics is a thing, right? Because at the moment it's just the story that he's got. Cheers, mate. I'm glad you felt like I needed a flashing light. Alright, Billy, will do, mate. I try and stay away from using real names because obviously it's the internet, but some people like being called by their real name, so that's absolutely fine with me. What's the weather like in Florida right now, Billy? I must check on yesterday's video to see if we did capture an orb. There seemed to be quite a bit of activity yesterday, and today it seems a bit dull. Okay, North Carolina, cool. So I bet you was loving that last video I put out then on North Carolina. But I have to try and figure out try and get some experts to listen to that, if anyone will touch it. There's a lot of people out there that just won't touch these things. They don't want to get involved. It's the big panic button that no one wants to press. Yeah, I'd say just record when you've got a clear moment. Just record the skies. Don't have to say, look at me. I'm just recording above the houses here. All the activity in that last video in North Carolina, they were all kind of house height. They weren't really high up. So, you know, why try pick out an object that's 25,000 feet up high in the air? You can pick one out just above the houses here. So that's what I recommend you do. Just pick an area, nice bit of sky, stabilise your camera. Exactly what I'm doing right now, and just go for it, see what happens. Let's have a little look, mate. Let me get WhatsApp open on the old PC here. Live now. Oh, that's naughty. Oh, that's a naughty button right there, buddy. Nice, Billy, mate. I mean, if you've got Discord, what would be awesome is if you joined the Discord server and then just went live on there. Because what I can do then is go live on there myself, and I can switch between my screen and your screen, and we can view what's going on, you know, in two different locations at the same time. I think we could get up to 6 or 7 in there maybe, so it'd be quite interesting to have webcams on. We've already got a lot of the planet covered in terms of, I've got people in all corners filming randomly. But the more the merrier. Oh, we've got an aircraft flying above. I'm not too sure where it is. It's really quite foggy out there at the moment. Let's see if I can see it. If it flies above us, I will adjust the camera. But it's one of them ones I can hear it, but I just can't see it. Yeah, Billy, if you live in the mountains, mate, get that camera out during the day and you'll capture. Just pick a nice location, point it in the right direction. That's awesome, mate. I mean, I know it's a young website, but if we can drive any kind of traffic towards this, then that's a start, you know. That's a start. I need to get about 1,000 views more on top of each of my videos before I can comfortably do this and pay my bills, you could say. So I'm not long to go. I'm getting nearly 1,000 per video now, so just another 1,000 on top, and I can go at this quite comfortably. I probably needed to do that 4 weeks ago, so I'm a bit behind, but you know, whatever. It'll happen when it happens, and Billy, mate, you take care of yourself first, man, and just as and when you can. Maybe you find you just want to sit down in the garden one day, just pull your phone out, stabilise it as best you can, and record, my man. You know, Gavin won't mind me saying this, but he's not very well either. Cancer of all things, and so he now uses up his time to do this because, well, he wants to make a difference before anything happens, you know. And I think he's recovering well, but he's totally on board with this because it's, well, we're just a bunch of normies, aren't we? Yeah, man. Oh, by the way, you're a member now, right? So I haven't announced this yet, but Karen, who I interviewed 2 weeks ago, she's a healer, and we're going to offer free healing sessions, card reading sessions, all of it for free to our members. and it will be done by Karen. So you'll just be one-on-one with Karen, either on the phone or via the Discord server. And she has some abilities, my man. She does. I'm not saying she can repair your lungs, but I mean, I was suffering from IBS 4 weeks ago, about 4 weeks ago, and normally it lasts 3 or 4 days. You know, it's horrible. And I was 12 hours in, and I called Karen up, and I said to her, "Look, I can't do your interview. I'm too ill." And she said, "No, let me heal you right now over the phone." And she played the 7 chakra tones down the phone to me, and they really did penetrate my ears, and I felt the tones go right through my body, and I felt fine within 20 seconds. The pain in my stomach had completely gone. She people. We intend to do for our members who sign up. We you know, if you want a card reading, if you just want a DNA reset, we will do that for free. And I believe even for a card reading, these psychics charge like £80 a session. We're not going to charge a penny, so yeah, jump on it. Honestly, it's free, and she's good at what she does. I would hate to know how. I would hate to imagine how many people she's helped over the years. Quite a few. Yeah, just send me your Discord name when you have it, mate, and I'll add you in. While I'm dropping the good news, we will be doing some incentives via the Discord server as well. So people that are paying for memberships, some of you guys by the end of the year would have gained that back and more, because we want to give people the opportunity to go through this process without paying too much. And I think it's like 32 quid for the year or something. So if you could win 30 quid over a course of a year somewhere, maybe a capture. We'll throw it out there. If I had 1,000 members, I'd be giving away £500 a month. Put it that way. So I want to give back to the people as best as I can, but I can't do. But it's really quiet out there today. Anyone seen anything yet? I haven't seen anything. Maybe see if I can adjust the camera a little bit here. Yeah, all good, mate. I'm pottering around, sipping on my coffee as well. I'm trying to keep an eye on this screen, to be fair, because we're not getting the action we had yesterday. But then I was recording yesterday afternoon around 2 o'clock, wasn't I? So I don't know. I don't know if time makes a difference, whether they're here for a certain period of time, or I don't know. All I know is yesterday was hell a lot busier out there. No worries, Billy, mate. Get some rest. I figured it was quite early for you. Yeah. Cheers, mate. Rest up well, buddy. Gonna have to get you on the channel, mate, so we can talk about your stories, Jay. Did I just miss one, Tony? You're joking. I'm glad that there's been one caught in the shot, to be honest, because it's been a bit bleak so far. We've been doing 32 minutes. I'll tell you what though, mate, yesterday's video, the captures that we got on yesterday's was brilliant. I've never seen such a clear hockey puck. And it's come from my window. I cannot believe it. And we've got 2.5 hours to just go through that whole video. It's high activity. Yeah, man. Yeah, we'll do it. Whenever you're ready, mate, we'll do it. I'm looking at the screen intently now because Tony's pointed out that one went past and I haven't seen one yet. So I'm getting a little bit like, what's going on? Sun's trying to penetrate through now, but it's still a little bit foggy out there. Oh, that was a bird. Something did just pop up on the right hand corner there before that bird came past, but cool. I think that sort of stuff's a little bit too much for the general public, you know. Well, I know it exists, but it's just from a normie's perspective, not knowing that UFOs are real. That's step one. The interview with Karen, for example, it gets a little bit funky. For anyone who doesn't follow this topic that listens to that is going to think she's absolutely bonkers. Come on now. Come on, UAP. I asked for them yesterday and they turned up in the droves, so maybe if I ask again. By the way, yesterday's live feed, I looked at the first 25 minutes and I found myself finding a UAP stopping the screen every like 5 or 10 seconds. It was just too much going on yesterday. Maybe, man, maybe. It's this is what we got to try and figure out. Is why they just turn up when they do. We had quite a few aircraft flying over yesterday as well, so it could have been just the result of aircraft flying above us. That I ended up with dragons flying through the town, but they fly really low when they do. So I don't know. The shots that we had yesterday were awesome. Really big hockey pucks, plasma coming out like you wouldn't believe. Still quiet, huh? Still quiet. What part of the world are you from, Tony? Where do you live, mate? Ah, cool. You're probably seeing what I'm seeing out there then. Bit foggy, sun's trying to penetrate through, but it's not really happening. Come on, UFOs. Give me a saucer. Just one saucer, I'll call it a day. It's a big ass sky to cover, isn't it? We're just recording like a tiny fraction. Wow, man, long time, long time. Yeah, and there's a lot of people like yourself that would have researched UFOs years ago and would have given up, actually, because so many unanswered questions, right? But now the spark's being reignited in some people to keep researching because it's coming out, right? I mean, people are trying to come forward. The evidence is overwhelming. It's all happened in the last sort of 5-6 years, so it's coming around. My old man bless him, he passed away last year, but he was the same. You know, he swore that he saw a Tic Tac UFO in the 50s. When I was growing up, he always used to be driving but looking up, you know, looking around him everywhere but the centre of the road. And I used to have a go at him all the time for it. You know, pay attention, you're going to cause an accident. But now I understand why his eyes were always up in the sky, always. And it was only later on in life he was like, you know, look, I saw a UFO in the 50s and I believe they're out there and that. And even when he told me then, I took it with a pinch of salt. Even though I'd seen one myself, I still wasn't sure what I saw that night. And yeah, it kind of sits with you, doesn't it? I feel like it's the quiet before the storm here. Couple of birds, that's something. That is something. Just nice to see that there's living things still out there, because it's dead quiet. Come on. Yesterday we had a perfect crisscross of UAP as well, by the way. It was incredible to watch. These things just literally was heading for each other, and they just did the perfect. Well, we see it all the time on the channel, but it was a perfect crisscross, right in the middle of the screen as well. Carl Monk. Name's not ringing a bell. Maybe, possibly, if I see his face up, it might. There's so many people in the UFO community, isn't there? That's names and faces that I can never put together in one hit. I think anyone that's consistent that I can name off, that I can say, you know, just by looking at him, I know who it is. It's George Knapp. You know, he's been around for so long. Okay, cool. I will take a look. It's always worth looking at what other researchers have found out in the past. But a lot of it is they're chasing theories around, a lot of people, because the evidence just wasn't there. But for anyone who's got any decent evidence that they can pull out from the 90s, and you know, they've definitely had a better opportunity, an advantage, if you like. The code. Oh, okay, I've heard of that. I've heard of all different types of theories that surround this topic, with subliminal messages in between, and certain films that portray what's going on. One of the latest ones was The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, funnily enough. That film apparently portrays what's going on now with UFOs, and the lion was meant to be one aspect of this, the witch was meant to be another, and the wardrobe was meant to be another aspect of this whole thing. And apparently there's some subliminal messaging in there, but I don't know, subliminal messaging's a little bit, I'm on the fence with it. It could mean nothing, could mean something, you know. But it happens a lot. In fact, for anyone that's in the UK, you'll know about this programme, EastEnders. It's a drama over in the UK it's one of the, probably the most famous UK drama, like UK drama in the UK. It was created in the late 80s, I think. Anyway, recently they've had some old characters come back to the show, and funnily enough, one of them was a guy called Nigel who started the show off with the Mitchells a long time ago. But this character Nigel, he sat in the Queen Vic pub in one of these scenes. I think it was about 2 weeks ago, and he's holding a UFO magazine. And the first line he says in the pub during this scene is, "Do you think they're real?" And if that's not a subliminal message, I don't know what is. Good morning, good morning. Oh, we've got hello number 3. All right, Deb, how we doing? Just doing a little bit of UFO hunting. Glad you guys could make it. Not as busy as it was yesterday. So I did this yesterday. I'm sure some of you would have seen on the Facebook page. It was fire. What we was capturing yesterday was mental. Today, been a bit quiet. Tony reckons that he's seen one. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of EastEnders, but just so happens I decided to sit down because, like I say, Nigel came back to it, and I thought, oh, Nigel's back in EastEnders, and I just wanted to watch it for a little bit, and he was sat in the Queen Vic holding a UFO magazine, of all things, and I just thought to myself, they are pushing the message in the smallest ways. I mean, fancy putting that in an EastEnders script, it's. And that's just one example. There's many examples that they're at the moment where they're pushing this agenda without actually saying in exact words, this is coming out. They're just prepping everyone. Yeah, thank you, Jay. Hit the like button, please, folks. It sounds silly, but it's an algorithm thing. If you guys watch my stuff and hit the like button, then YouTube pushes it out further and further. So that's the idea. Oh, we just had a UAP, folks. Finally, I just caught one. I just see it flash right through the screen there, and that's what we're looking for, guys. Yeah. Yes, Speed. So I'm with you on that one. I'd much rather do UAP hunting than watch some drama stuff, right? But I just thought I'd let you guys know they are putting the message out there to the normies, and yeah. Well, look, you guys turned up and we started getting some action. So maybe this is the lucky charms coming in right now. Maybe the ETs were just like, look, we need more viewers before we're going to start showing ourselves. So, You see, this is it, we're connected somehow. I mean, how many miles up the road are you? You've got to be about 150 miles up the road from me. Maybe a bit more. You're South Wales, right? Thank you, B. Yeah, Dr. Robert Shape, yeah, custodian file. He's a good dude. He's a good guy. Probably way more polite than me. Those guys have got they got a good handle on what they're seeing, but they just need a push. They need a helping hand, and they're just too polite. So that's where I come in. Yeah, they know what they're doing. And when I first started this conquest, they were very kept me at arm's reach, so to speak. But now they're fully on board with what I'm doing. I'll happily take the beating, the verbal bashing, to get this out there. That van, places around Wiltshire in England. Take out a radio detector, and a few cameras with me and start researching. Find out when we're getting these X and K band hits, where we're getting them, what these things are potentially doing. We've got to figure all this out. At the time, MB was one of the first to start sending me evidence, and Baz, your evidence is coming up next. Actually, I've got it lined up. You did capture on that video you sent me, by the way. The one of the Chinook. Welcome, Planetary Protector. Like that name, buddy. It would appear so, Tony. It would appear so, mate. They must have a device inside their UFOs, their craft that draw energy somehow, and it's not from the likes of our houses. I think it's... Yes, Baz, you did, mate. You did capture. So just as the Chinook comes into view and it's getting a bit closer to you, a UAP darts off, and that's what it was there for, I think. Thank you very much. Appreciate you, MB. Appreciate all of you, and honestly, like I was just saying before you guys came in, actually, consider a membership, because I want to get everyone in the Discord server for a reason. There's a lot of conversations to be had. There's UFO hunts to be arranged, which I want you guys to get involved with if you can, and also I want to give back to the community as well. So if you're a part of the membership, eventually when I get to like 1,000 members, I'll be chucking £500 out back to the public every month, and I want you guys to be part of that. You know, I want you guys to pay for a membership, and then one day it just pay for itself. Boom, you know, all in one hit and more. And that's the idea. Now there might be some policies and litigation that I need to go through, but if we do that in an unofficial capacity, then we can help each other out, and that's really what I want to do for people. You just create a Discord name, go onto Discord, discord.com, create an account, and let me know your Discord name. But you just need to be a member in order to get access to that server. And in there we've got John at Latchkey, Robert at Custodian File, myself. We've got a few other YouTube creators now popping in. And so yeah, I want to build the community and just make it a solid one, you know, a solid community. Then once we've got that, I can then push. I want to have a template written out to MPs that I can just push the template out, get everyone to sign it, send it off to their local MPs. I'm not talking about just showing evidence here. We've got to get this out. This is the goal, folks. Yeah, and if you can't get a membership, it's absolutely fine. I know a few members are talking about gifting out memberships as well. So if you can't afford it, it's absolutely fine. Just catch us on a live show on a Saturday or something where it gets a bit busier, and I'm sure we'll get some memberships gifted out as well. I want everyone to get involved, and those that can't afford it more so, I want to help you guys. So we all got to do this together at the end of the day. We all live in the crappy system. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you very much. I not being a threat. I mean, this is why they need to bring it to the people, because they aren't gods of this planet. They shouldn't be deciding whether it's a threat or not a threat. Or, I mean, I could stand outside your bedroom door and listen to your conversations at night. I wouldn't be a threat, but I'd be intrusive of your time and what you're saying. I'd be completely intrusive of your privacy. And that's really what I've got a problem with. If they know about these things, they know they're coming right up to people. I mean, do we know that they're listening and they're pushing out information to the government, which is cause and effect, making them more money? Do we know that they aren't controlling people by brushing up against skin and doing something to our DNA? Are they radioactive? Can we get near them? Is it safe? Are they taking down our aircraft? So there's so many different questions that we should be asking, to be honest with you, and we should be developing the cameras so that we can capture these things. And they won't develop those things in science if we don't push it. So it will all lead to a really good thing. By the end of it, we'll understand the technology, we'll be able to develop more, we'll make the world a better place, and we'll know whether we're not alone, which is a big question. Perhaps even find out our origins, which would be nice. But there's no rush for any of that to happen, but I feel like the technology side of it's a big thing. So that's why I do what I'm doing. I couldn't care less about what I'm saying or whether I'm popular or not. It's got to be out. It's got to be said. It's got to be put out there. Yeah, thanks very much as well for becoming a Hockey Cup member there. Do you know what? I'm gonna open up the Discord to everyone. I think just everyone, any membership, because I get it's tough times, but I want everyone to be involved as well. I don't want everyone to not be involved. This is it though, Deb. I don't know if they have hurt anyone yet or not. If we found out that one of the planes that crashed in January was taken out by one of those things, then what? Let's say they had an accident, and one of these objects went through the propeller of one of these things, and they had an accident. It was an accident on both sides, but we don't know what that thing is. It's. I mean, if the world knew that these things existed and they caused X amount of accidents over a 10-year period, that might change your decision from getting on a plane next time. I don't know. There's good. Ultimately, there will be good things that come of this, but there are also some concerning questions as well. So we should really look at it all. Yeah, I mean, infrared thermal imagery, they recommend this because these buggers are so hard to see during the day. Like you guys know, they're easily dismissed as bugs. So for us, it's a challenge and a half without all the 4K 60 megapixel camera. 60 megapixels, 60 frames per second is the minimum. We all want more now. But then the more the more frames per second, the higher the quality, the more memory is needed. So then it's a memory issue, You put a 10-minute video in 4K onto your hard drive, and you'll soon fill up that hard drive, So that's where we're at. They want to go 5K, 6K, but you're talking masses of memory now at this point. So the scientists need to pull their fingers out just a little bit. Yeah, honestly, like MB, I've closed my eyes and see black dots before. When you're doing this for so long, it takes its toll. Damages your eyes even. So don't do what I'm doing, folks, looking at a big screen all day every day. But it's hard, isn't it? Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And what I love about this more than anything is that, well, here's the strange thing. Here's what I've learned, and I've been talking to Karen about this the past year. But since I've been doing this, topic, I've noticed that it's heavily man-orientated when it comes to the viewers. Heavily man-orientated. But the best evidence, and I'm going to have a word with the lads actually, the best evidence has come from the ladies. I have to say it. The ladies are winning by an ocean mile here when it comes to the evidence. And I'm going to mention it on the next video because I feel like the men are slacking just a little bit. I mean, Gavler's, you know, he caught a saucer, and Ben in Australia has been holding the fort for the men. But really, the women have been dominating this. The videos that have been coming out, you could say it started with Joanna in Cambridgeshire. She smashed it with her videos, and then we've had Deb recently, amazing. Karen, amazing. So many, just so many. Caroline in North Carolina. Oh, sorry, Christine in North Carolina. That was, I've never picked up any audio crap like that before. So the women really are dominating the footage, in my opinion, with the best captures. Maybe it's just my assessment so far, and I remember thinking about it the other day, and I was like, what's going on here? It's such a male-orientated, dominated subject, and yet the women are pulling out the best evidence. I don't know why. I don't know why that is. I love it. I love the fact that the balance is like that. Maybe the men need to pick it up a little bit. Not that it was ever meant to be a competition, but you know, I think competitiveness is healthy in some areas. They do. You know, some say that we're going into the Aquarius, times of the Aquarius, which is ultimately run by a feminine aspect of life. So we could be reaching a time of peace, hopefully, if that's true. Dwarf free. I've got this picture, right, that I'm going to have a van or a truck. It's going to have UndercoverETuk UK in red vinyl down the side, and I'm going to have all my equipment in the back, and I'm going to be travelling to see you guys where you're capturing your captures. I'm going to be visiting you guys, and we're going to do some radio detection, try and confirm that what you're capturing is the real deal, and then we're going to move on. If I make enough money, I'll be buying camera equipment for people as well, because it's all good calling for eyes in the skies, right? But really, I should be supplying you guys with cameras and stuff like that. So that's what I'd like to do. The research has got to be done by the people at the end of the day, and it's an expensive job. So hopefully collectively we all get together, the views start flowing, the memberships start flowing, and we can start this off this year. And at the moment we've only got Robert, a custodian file, who's got a radio detector and is doing the research hard, and we need to get someone over in the UK doing that, so that we can collaborate, build our case, put it forward to the people that have been ignoring us, and push really hard for it. Just see if I can get a good shot. Oh, it's a dream. It's a dream that I'm trying to make a reality, Deb. I mean, incredibly difficult. But if it was easy, it wouldn't be worth doing. Yeah, we do. Oh, Gemma. Sorry, Gemma. There's too many of you. I get confused. I wish you guys would just do what Tony did and just name yourselves by your name. You got yourself a P1000? Oh, mate, nice one. They're like $1,000 or something, right? I've been looking into this because now it's my line of work. I need to get a decent camera, but I just don't have that money to spare. I've got no money to spare. So I need to get built up, really. But P1000 is the way to go, I hear. Well, I think that's what Custodian File uses. And actually, he loses detail on the... For having a better camera, he actually loses detail on the hockey pucks themselves. Now, he picks them up really well. Like, you see the black objects flying through the sky, no problem. But the detail is not quite there. If you look at... I mean, I'm using a Samsung J6, right? So it's a crapper. It's an absolute crapper of a Samsung, but it does the job. I use this for recording because of what you saw yesterday. If you're on the Facebook group, you would have seen the captures, and they were mint, absolutely mint. And it's down to the specifications of the phone or the camera itself, and also mobile phones. Although this one doesn't have it, some of the later mobile phones, they've got AI built into the camera, so they pick up. It stabilizes the camera really well, and you pick up good shots. So yeah, P1000 is the way to go for if you're trying to cover a wide area. But if you're looking to zoom in and get detail on these things, honestly, a mobile phone is value for money and the way to go. Yeah, it's all relaxing. It's all relaxing, Gemma, until I see a UAP go through this past the screen, and then I'm jumping up trying to see it out the window. But there's a 3-second delay on what I'm seeing and what you're hearing, so if I see it on the screen in front of me here, it's already gone past. That's the issue I've got. Thanks very much for your support, number. It's not funny, Jem. It's a pain in the butt. Yesterday I was flipping out because I had a UAP go through the camera probably every 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and I couldn't see them with my own eyes. It was bugging me, literally bugging me. Is it? Might have to look into that, Tone. So much to do. Come on, UFOs. Sun's out now. Fog's clearing up a bit. Alright, Gemma, get some sleep. Thank you for joining us, and have a good shift tonight if you're having another shift. Bless ya. I know what you get up to, right? When the patients are asleep, you're in the hallway with your phone out, aren't you? Just dodging the boss. Have a good kip, Gemma. We'll speak tonight, no doubt. Thank you. Don't know. I think we've only captured one so far in this clip. I'm gonna have to watch that back. Sneaky. Yes, Barry. We can bait them using drones. So yes, it can be done. It has been done. It's been done accidentally as well. So yeah, I mean, anything that flies through the air, we can set a drone up, just have it hovering in one spot and put a camera on it, and yeah, you'll capture. That's let me just take care of this. There's a little web here. It's creating a bit of flickering on the screen now. It hasn't got rid of the flickering. Okay, maybe that's just... There we go. Yeah, take care, Gemma. Have a good rest. Just trying to get repositioned and refocused here, because the birds are out, which is normally a good sign. Because we know that birds get tagged by UAP all the time. There we are. Still a little bit hazy out there, but I feel like we'll start getting some action soon. I guess not every UFO hunt was going to be as easy as it was yesterday, right? birds are going for it now. I wonder if these UAP can interact with the wildlife as well. They must hear them and are really very much aware that they're around. Come on, UFOs. Got to have a UAP in there somewhere. Oh really? What, while they were filming, they captured one. Did Robert put that on his channel? I know there was an old film set that there was one captured. Come on, dragons. Well, let's go. Fog's clearing out quite a bit now, so we're going to start getting all sorts of things pop up. Yeah, Tony, I've watched some UFO documentaries recently, you know, where they talk about these things in depth, and they take testimony from pilots and stuff like that, you know, one of those documentaries. And they even showed clips of planes in the air, and there were dragons tagging these planes, and they weren't even mentioned. Like, people that do documentaries on this topic aren't aware of these dragon UAP. It's unbelievable. Yeah, it is. It's all about time. We've pulled one out of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here before while it was live. Tagged one of the contestants. So they're everywhere. And it's even more of a shock for me when I start seeing them right by my window here, and the images that we have of these things are exactly the same as, like I say, what we saw in Australia, live on telly, what Maggie takes, what they're capturing in America. They're all over the place. So I'm just surprised it's taken this long, to be honest, for people to start realising. Oh, if I just missed one. Well, that's a good sign. Maybe they're going to start kicking off. I do feel like we're going to start getting some objects now because the wildlife is waking up quite a bit. So we've got to be now critical about what we're seeing. But yeah. I'm watching from a 32-inch, and it seems to be good enough. I would imagine 75 you're not going to miss a thing. So I sit quite close to my desk, so I can't have anything bigger. I'll be blind. Yesterday I was looking back at the footage, and one UAP seems to go right across the screen, but as it goes across it kind of turns and looks at me. It's quite worrying. You can kind of tell it turns and faces like either me or the opposite direction because of the way it sort of it just looks like it's facing head on with me, the puck itself. Hard to explain, but it's upright. It's weird. Oh, I'm not worried, mate. My window was open. It could have flown straight in. I'd have been happy. Well, provided I don't catch any kind of radiation poisoning, I'd have been happy. So the way I've got my camera set up, it's situated on the windowsill, so it's actually inside the flat. Windows, it's like half a window that I can open, so I've fully opened it up as much as I can, which means anything that flies close to the lens would have to fly either inside the window or go splat on the window to get past it. So we're not going to get anything close to the lens. We might get something that flies in view of the camera, but generally we'll be able to tell if it's a fast mover or if it's just a fly. At the moment we're not getting too much of either, although a couple of UAP apparently. Yeah, go for it. Yeah, I would just film in 5-minute stemps, so if you want to send the footage on, you'll be able to send the file without it getting too big, but yeah, definitely. It's amazing how close these things actually get to people. So I really enjoy doing this. I enjoy gauging with you guys, and I enjoy recording UAP and looking at it on a big screen while I'm recording. I think it's a win-win all round, really. I love doing this. So Sun's really beaming out now, but we're just not seeing that in the shot, which is fine. And if you're just tuning in, we have captured a few, not as many as yesterday, but you know, it's still early. Good morning to everyone that's joining us. I think it's morning pretty much everywhere except Australia now. Right? In fact, it would be late night in Australia, early hours of the morning in the US. Morning, John. Good to see you again, bud. The birds have been saying good morning all morning so far. I'm used to hearing this on a daily basis, so. Oh, morning, Susan. I was wondering when you was going to drop in. Nice, Baz. Yeah, good to see you, Susan. Good morning to you. And do you know what, Barry? It's funny you mention Steve Mara. I think it's the same guy. Yeah, Mara. Emailed him recently, and I said, look, you know, I've got all the evidence. Tell me what you want to see. I think it's important we speak about this to the public. I'd love to be on your show. Yada yada yada. All the good things that he does and all that. And he replied straight away, and he said, is it the same objects that Robert Shape is showing? And I said, yeah, pretty much. I said, we're getting the odd different objects, but it's pretty much the same thing as what Robert Shape's showing. No response. It's like these big channels do not want to talk about this topic. They really don't want to delve into this, the real stuff. And I don't know why. Maybe he'll reply to me in a week's time and say, let's do it. But I got an instant reply from him and then nothing. The moment he realised it's the same object as what Robert was filming, he was like, yeah, okay. Good morning, Christian. Welcome back. And if you've just joined in, we have had a few captures. Not as many as yesterday, but I feel like it's going to pick up, so you guys might have just joined at the right time. We had some amazing captures yesterday. If you've seen the Facebook group, I did post them up there yesterday with a short clip from yesterday's live feed. Amazing stuff. It was so busy. So I'm hoping today gives us something a little bit better. Cheers, Tony. Thanks for watching, buddy. When you say strange, Christian, what do you mean? Like strange clouds? We've had a few zip through, Suze. Nothing. Well, I've missed every single one of them. Tony's been telling me every time I've missed one, and he's been right because I've not been looking at the screen. I'm over in Chippenham, John. Chippenham, Wiltshire. Right next to Bristol, not far. And something really, I feel like I should just keep going with this, because I mean it'll be a long stream, but I really want to find out what sort of time of day these things are turning up, because maybe they're going along a pathway that they choose every day, and they'll end up turning up at certain areas at certain times. Because yesterday was incredibly busy, and it was about 1 o'clock, wasn't it? 2 o'clock. I don't know, Baz, to be honest with you. I feel like, honestly, like the orbs that people are seeing, I think are these things. No, if you think about it logically, when we see these things in the sky, they emit white plasma, okay? And I do believe they can push out a white round bit of plasma and keep it there for as long as they want. And I think that's what they do at night, is they light themselves up so they can be seen, and then they make manoeuvres like you wouldn't believe, and people think they're orbs. I think they're hockey puck UAP, and every time I've managed to see an orb with any detail, I've zoomed in and there it is inside a hockey puck UAP. So again, don't mean to go against the grain or educate people that think they're seeing orbs, but I think that's what they are. I think they're hockey pucks, and there's hundreds of them in the sky, so people are seeing them all over the world, you know. That's all I can go on at the moment. Until I see something different, that's what I'm going on. And I think I think people would freak out more if they knew that they were actual small saucers rather than just orbs. Like, orbs is quite a, ooh, what's that? You know? But if someone saw a flying saucer in the sky, they'd be like, shit, aliens, you know? It's a different reaction. And so I think that's why the orb thing is kept like it is, because they don't want us to see the saucers. They really don't. I don't know why, but I'm just not down with that. You know, I want to see the saucers. I want to see the occupants. I don't care about some ancient old written agreement, because I wasn't around to agree anything back then. You know, that's just me. It's just what I'm saying. Yeah, cheers, B. Take care. Of course we will. We'll keep going. Never know. We never know when we're going to find something groundbreaking. We're getting some random audio hits as well from certain clips. I'd love to get another hit, get another sentence out of these guys, find out what they're saying. That for me was incredible. There'll be people that watch that one out of North Carolina and go, well, that's a lawnmower in the background, someone's clearly been shouting something, but you don't hear anyone shout. You know, so I can't understand how a voice would be carried to the camera like that. I've seen so much evidence, even with lawnmowers in the background, and I've never heard anything like it. And where we're picking up radio hits and clicks on our phone, I think there's a possibility that we could also pick up a radio signature or frequency from these things, like an actual sound. And that's what I feel like that's what we picked up that day. I listened to it all night long that night before I posted, and I couldn't debunk it. So I mean, the fact that a real UAP zips across the screen in that moment, it's neither here nor there to the rest of the world. Do you know what I mean? It's all like, okay, is the sound real? The UAP's real. When you take that into account, the odds of the sound being real ramps up considerably. Susan, that's probably down to your own frequency, because what's happening is you're tuning in, essentially waking up is what people say, but your frequency is tuning in with what's happening with the world. So if you're getting clicks on your phone like that, you're probably going to get, and a lot of people in the chat will get high-pitched ringing in their ear sometimes. Let me know if you've experienced that. But the high-pitched ringing is exactly your frequency tuning in. Sometimes it means that there's a being quite close to you as well in that moment. So, hello from Alabama. Hello, Tanker from Alabama. Welcome, buddy. Do you know what? I'd love a camera in the sky in Alabama. So if you've watched the channel before, Tanker, I would love for you to get camera in the sky in Alabama at some point and just record for a few minutes and send it on to me. UndercoverETuk@gmail.com. I'm trying to encourage as many people to film the skies as possible because we want overwhelming evidence coming from the public. You get it in your left ear, yeah? So, yeah, I mean, I sometimes get it in my right ear, but I get it between both, to be honest. I think the craziest thing that's happened to me recently, I'd say it was before Christmas. So I went over to Marcus that came into the chat yesterday. I was over at his house and we had a bit of a gaming night between 4 or 5 of us. And just as I was going to put my head down, it was about 2 in the morning. I went into the bedroom and we had like our own little beds made up, you know, because there was quite a few of us staying over. And I went to lay down and I got paralysis straight away, like totally could not move my body. And that was before I even managed to get my head on a pillow. So I just started laying down and I was getting paralysis. And I was snapping out of it, like forcing my way out of it. And it happened 6 or 7 times in a row before I literally just stood up and went, fuck this. And my mate was like, what's going on? And I said, sleep paralysis, mate. I said, every time I put my head down, I get sleep paralysis instantly. I said, it's just annoying me because I want to go to sleep. And he started laughing and he went, the beings are trying to get hold of you. And I was like, well, look, I'm tired. I ain't got time for this right now. I just want to go to bed. And I was more frustrated than wowed. Like normally sleep paralysis will freak anyone out. It happened to me on the trot like 6 or 7 times whilst I was trying to just lay down and sleep. So I was wide awake, not even close to falling asleep. Yeah, exactly what you said there, John. Why do you think now I've no longer worked for Virgin and I've done the channel? Just when you know, and there's no going back, and there isn't. Yeah, I wasn't scared of the sleep paralysis, Suze. I was just annoyed that I wanted to go to sleep in that moment and they weren't letting me. And it's not a very nice feeling, but you get used to it after a while. It's a bit like the fall-in dream. I really like the fall-in dream. You know when you're just falling and you're just constantly falling. I love that, and I get annoyed if I snap out of it or if I get woken up in the moment. I want to just keep falling. For me, it's an experience. For some people, it's a scary one. But from a young age, I just love the fall-in dream. It doesn't happen often enough. Yeah, I mean, the fact that we know that there is something else out there almost trying to interact with us, if not, they're recording everything we do, every moment. Not only us, nature as well, birds, everything. I feel like they just record everything we do. I mean, they've either got to be watching or listening, right? They're not flying around the air with no senses. With the technology they have, I assume they have all senses and more. Like they can probably see all dimensions, all craft, everything. You know. Did you see on the news was it News Nation yesterday? well, we've got aircraft at the Reagan Airport in the USA where we're detecting collision signals. The system within the aircraft of these planes was telling the pilots that they're about to collide with an object, even though there was nothing in front of them. And this has been happening all of yesterday. And it just so happens that's the same area where the helicopter recently, I think, collided with a plane, or there was an accident, one of the crashes. So Robert emailed me last night and said about this. He said, look, what's going on here? Do you think it's Dragon UAP? And I straight away said no, because we would see this behaviour in all airports all around the world with the dragons that are flying about. Like, we would see this constantly, but it's only being mentioned now, which tells me it's probably not dragons. But it does tell me that there's probably something up there which we can't see or detect, or we're not able to see it, to detect it in that way, but the system's still picking it up. And that would tell me that these objects are either moving around the Earth, and they've just decided to move, and they just so happens they're around that airport, or something's just arrived. That's the only conclusion I can come up with regarding what's going on at Reagan Airport in the USA right now with the planes. I feel like something cloaked up there, and it's messing with the systems these planes have, and the pilots are getting a little bit freaked out naturally. But I don't think it's Dragon UAP activity, because we would see this every day, and it just doesn't make sense to me that it's happening now. So yeah, I mean, look, it's a deep thing. If the control group know that this is coming out, maybe they will start downing a few planes to scare people into thinking that these aliens, these UFOs, these ETs are the bad guys, you know, the sources. I'm expecting a full-on, if this does come out, I'm expecting a full-on reaction, and it won't be a good one. You know, there'll be a lot of drama going on in the world before it calms down. So that's just my guess. That's where my logic takes me. Susan, unfortunately, you don't want to log in and hear this, but unfortunately the beings that are up there, in my opinion, are going to come in all different shapes and forms, and insectoids is one of them. There's no getting away from it. If you take the population of our planet, of every living thing on our planet, the vast majority, the larger number, are insects. They dominate this planet over humans in terms of numbers. Even though we are above them in the hierarchy, they will always dominate in numbers, insects, right? And I feel like that they would have been the first to evolve before humans, to be honest with you. Not only that, we're probably going to see some really strange stuff. So upright walking birds, for example, that can communicate with telepathy. We're talking about birdmen and ape men and horsemen and different type mythical creatures, right? Things like Bigfoot. Sounds crazy, but probably somewhere out there in a dimension that we're not aware of, they're out there. I'm sorry, Susan. I'm just preparing you for the harsh reality. And it's not going to be too harsh, because, you know, once these things can communicate with us, it won't be so bad. And I'm sure they're not going to appear to look too scary, you know. But there will be some that just can't wear clothing like we do, because it's just not going to be good for their skin. Or the atmosphere might not be good for them to walk around on this planet like we can walk around. You know, they might not need oxygen, they might need carbon dioxide or something else. The plasmoids that we see, they might require something else. Yeah, talking insect, for real, but not talking with a voice box, talking with its mind. Telepathy. I mean, the 12-foot, you're talking about the, yeah, cryptics. You're talking about 10-foot shadow beings and stuff like that, right? The ones in Vegas. Yeah, so got a theory on that as well. I was doing a lot of research. This was before I started the channel, but I was doing a lot of research on that and what was going on in Peru. And in my opinion, and I actually did. In fact, John, if you go back through my videos, mate, search for Vegas, and I've done a video. Oh, is that UAP? Right, yeah, I've done a video on the Las Vegas backyard sighting myself. I've done my own analysis, and it's much better than anyone else's, I have to say. I don't mean to big myself up, but at the time, people were analysing this, and I just went straight. Within 5 minutes, right? Within 5 minutes, I saw what was in that garden, and no reason to disbelieve the family at all. By the way, no reason. They had something there. The distortion that the family was seeing, because they couldn't clearly see the beings because it was distorted. It's the same technology we're seeing in these craft, okay? They heard a crash, but they couldn't see the craft, right? Funnily enough, these things can land right by people's feet, and we can't see them, but they're there, okay? So yeah, this thing clearly had a problem. Like I said, mistakes happen. They crash landed, and the craft, in my opinion, was only small. It was a small craft, maybe the size of a basketball, right? But it's able to cloak itself as well. And I think they crashed. The noise that was heard was the speed of this thing coming down, but they didn't physically hit the ground. Okay, I think they just stopped they just was heading for the ground. They went to 3,000 miles an hour and just stopped. Okay, their ship was clearly in distress, or their craft, or whatever it is they had to do it in that moment to get out of the way. They did it. They ended up in this family's back garden. They cloaked themselves and the ship, which is a tiny ball, which is why they didn't see it. And they appeared in their natural sizes. Okay, I believe they appeared for a split moment in their natural sizes, and they're able to cloak. Okay, at least some of them were able to just cloak and hide themselves. The others had to just hide behind the machinery that were there in the garden. This is what I believe. And well, you've probably all seen the analysis of the shadow being coming over the fence, right? And that was one of the beings that was trying to basically keep the others safe. The others were hidden in the tractor at the back, and there was a tall, darker being with a big head to the right-hand side, and it was hidden in the shadows, but it was there. So I picked out all of that stuff. I also picked out a Mantian being that was stood next to that shadow being, and it's the first being that you really see to the right-hand side of the clip. But if you look just to the left-hand side of the over the shoulder of that Mantian being, there is a tall, dark shadow right next to it that people didn't pick up on. So there's a lot to go on in that video, and it kind of matches with what people were seeing in the Miami Mall, you know, with all the police cars surrounding the mall. In the end, we managed to find some testimony and what people were saying, and it sounds to me like the same beings, for whatever reason, just had to appear there in that moment, to whether it was to get out of trouble or a miscalculation. Yeah, both instances were true. Yeah, both instances were true. And in fact, the previous year, on exactly the same day in that very mall, another incident happened, and it was blamed on kids as well. It's like a reoccurrence, you know. So I'm not too sure. Actually, I forgot to check if anything happened this year in the mall on January 1st. But there was separate news reports on the same incident that happened 2 years running. So, you know, maybe a blip there in time or whatever. I don't know. But really strange. Awesome, buddy. Awesome stuff. So for anyone that doesn't know, Jay Pissed God in the chat, Jay, he's creating a website for everyone to upload evidence essentially and share any information regarding the UAP topic. It will be completely open source. You'll have a link to any live stuff that I'm doing from that website as well, and hopefully a lot of people find it, right? This is the goal, is to push the right information. Obviously we're going to try and there's going to be an entertainment element to it. It's going to look really good in terms of the layout and stuff like that, but ultimately it's going to be real UAP footage. We want to try and get it out there collectively, and you know, as time goes on, I'm going to need an admin. I'm looking for an admin for the Facebook group. I'm looking for a moderator, essentially. You could call it an admin and a moderator. Anyone who wants to get involved now, hopefully will be in a good place in 6 months, 8 months time, and you'll be fully involved with what we're doing. And if you want to get involved, just ask. We'll figure it out. We'll find something for you to do, and we'll grow together. We'll grow together, get it out there, and hopefully we'll be a right team of people that just have every right to put this out there, you know, and many voices is a large voice, as they say. That's the goal. It's a shame we've got to do this, though, right? It's a real shame that the people have got to step up and do this ourselves, but it is what it is. To be honest, mate, it's all theatre in my opinion. Like Jake Barber, you don't give a shocked look in an interview. You give a shocked look in the moment. You know, when you're out there doing the job. In the interview, you've probably told the story 100 times. So why would it be so shocking to tell it to the reporter? It's theatrics, mate. That's what it is. He's been in the job for 10 years. And he's only just decided to come forward now, and he says it in the interview. It's because his life is at risk. To me, it's like, well, you've got into a dodgy business. You've probably created God knows what pain and havoc in the world because you're doing things for contractors instead of telling the public what's really out there. And now his life is at risk because he's caught some sort of radiation or something that's affected his skin. And also he might be a wanted man by certain people that are trying to keep this hidden. I don't know if we should really go, do you know what, mate, it's absolutely fine. You've come out now and said it and we forgive you. It's a bit like committing all the wrong crimes and then saying, you know what, it's such a big secret, you'll forgive me. I don't know. No, not that he's dying. It's just that he's had skin problems and it's taken a long time to get his skin healed and stuff like that. And look, in all fairness, he might not have realised what he was messing with, and that's what he claims, that he doesn't know what he was messing with. But when you pick up a big ass egg, right, and that's just one object, I'm sure there were many more. How long does it take before someone goes, you know what, this is not man-made, you know? How long does it take? And people talk all the time, and I'm sure that even though they got NDA signed and stuff like that, within the community they would have known about what was going on a long time before it came up and it was made public. Would he have come forward if his life was on the line? Probably not. That's the harsh reality of it. He was probably making too much money and had such a cool job. Why would he say anything? That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. Like I say, he might just been completely dumbfounded, didn't realise what he was getting himself into, and was being used. You know, probably a little bit of both. But I can't take what he's saying as gospel. I think if these people really were serious about disclosure, they would just say, record the skies, like we're doing right now. You know, get the proof, put it out there. You don't need me. I don't get it. mean, I'd love to have certain people on the channel, but you know what? None of them want to know. It's the topics to this very thing we're searching for now. It's too close to the red button. No one wants to push it. A lot of them are in denial. And it's a shame as well. Even some content creators that I like are not putting this out there. And yeah, I've realised what kind of, it's a dog-eat-dog world. I've realised what the YouTube UFO community is like, and it's heavily controlled. Heavily controlled. And you notice everyone that's got all the large platforms, they know they can't produce certain things. They can't show certain things, and that's why they've got a large audience. Not saying I should have a large audience. By rights, I should, like, if I was sat on 2,000 subscribers now, I'd be well happy, because I've only been going 7 or 8 months. But you know, I'm close to 3,000, so I'm really happy. You know, I couldn't ask for anything more. It's not about being jealous. I think I'm doing really well. I got monetized within 5 months. I'm doing really well. But you know, they're smashing it because they stay in the lane that they're told to stay in. Essentially, that's what I believe. Yeah, I mean, dark ops for sure. That's why he's not a saint by any standard. Oh, John, you're right, and Baz, you're right. You're both correct. It's I mean, put it this way, the best way I can explain it, the way that we can understand this, what we're witnessing on this channel and other channels is non-human intelligence, okay? What they're capable of is some crazy stuff. We talk about the basic things like maneuvers. Oh my god, did you see that turn that object made? Like that's not even fascinating to me anymore. These things can go invisible, okay? They can literally disappear from one part of existence and reappear in another instantaneously, okay? I think there are little people inside some of these as well. So I guess what I'm saying is where all of this is real and true, the reason behind our existence, the reason why they have been around for a long time, the reason why the world is like it is not going to be easy to accept. Just on the basis of what we know already, that they've got all this technology, they fly around like mad, they're in every country and every town around the world. So they dominate in numbers as well. They dominate technology. They've been around far longer than we have. All I can say is this story does not end with a simple explanation. And as I believe positive and negative has run parallel in this planet and in existence for as long as time has been around, for as long as we can, as existence has been recorded, I guess. Both positive and negative. And where that's true, positive and negative exist, it just means that how we come about, how they come about, what they've been doing all these years is going to be a very complicated and potentially an unpopular answer. And that's why they probably keep things a secret. But, and I say all that with a big but, secrets aren't kept forever. It's like rules, they're made to be broken, right? If everyone's heard that saying, and secrets aren't meant to be kept forever. And if you believe that, and you believe that the secret will come out and it's inevitable, then we may as well go from A right to Z and just try and understand these things, you know. So that's where I'm at. That's where my logic takes me. I think they're showing themselves. The evidence is overwhelming. It's only a matter of time, and eventually the world will wake up. And then from there, where do we go? You know, communication, evolving as a species, as a race, learning, all that stuff. Like I said, it's gonna spark a reaction though, guys. So once this all starts coming out, the people that control the planet, you could say the controllers, whether they're higher intelligence or whatever, I think they're gonna fight back a little bit, but ultimately, like I say, end result, it comes out. Once it comes out, there's no going back, and that war will be lost. But the controllers will lose, and things will change. That's ultimately what will happen. Exactly. I think we all know. We've all got that gut feeling, and more people are getting that gut feeling. And it's all about maths. It's just numbers, right? If we've got, I don't know, 7 billion people in the world, that means we need 3.6 billion people, just over half, to have the consciousness that you have now about this topic. And once that tips over, and I think we're getting to that point, frequency around the world changes. Our natural frequency that we give off, that we know nothing about, changes. And when that changes, these things will start showing themselves more. That's what I think is going to happen. I think that's what is happening. That's why it's important that we stay focused. We keep looking at this stuff. We keep spreading the information, because I don't, like, respect to Robert and everything, and total respect. I thank him for all the years he's putting in. I don't want to put in 7 years into looking at dragons. Like, the likes of you and me are well past that, trying to see if these things are real, you know? We're well past that. So let's not spend 7 years trying to convince the world. Let's try and do it ASAP, so that we can move on, and the channel will evolve as well into trying to understand what these things are, as opposed to trying to get it out there that these are real. And do you know what? Do you know what would be really interesting? If we just picked one day, got the community really big, and just picked one day where everyone recorded the skies. No matter what country they're in, just record the skies. We would have so much evidence. If you imagine, if 100,000 people around the world just suddenly decided to film because we got the word out there, and people just started filming, the camera industry started booming because of it, you know, whatever. If we made so much if we caused so much noise around this that people started filming from everywhere, there would be some captures. There would be so much evidence. It would be completely overwhelming. We'd see things that we rarely see, and it would be daily. It would just be every single day, and the press just wouldn't be able to get away from it. No one would. The politicians would be completely pushed into a corner, and that's what we want. We can do it ourselves. We don't need to wait for these guys to come out and fight in Congress and fight for the truth. That's a problem for one island, you know. We've got the whole world to think about. So in the UK it's even worse. They don't even talk about this stuff. The corruption's completely hidden, and we can just get around that. Just go straight from A to Z, like I said. Hello, Corteza. Welcome, buddy. And if you've just joined, we are trying to capture UFOs. We've had one or two go through. It's been relatively quiet out there. Yesterday's was so much better. We got a lot of UAP fairly quick in, and it went on for a couple of hours, capturing quite frequently. Today is a little bit quieter, but I feel like we're going to start getting some stuff soon. Susan, how are we going to get you down here for a UFO hunt? Towards the summer, we're going to do a UFO hunt. I'd love to get everyone down. Arrange for hotel stays or whatever if they're travelling far or whatever. I don't know how we're going to work this out, but we've got to try and work it out somehow, right? Do some recording during the day, have a nice meal in the evening, big group of us. Maybe even doing some evening recording if it's warm, you know, get a barbecue going or something. What I'd love to do, and I was telling Robert the other night after the interview ended, I'd love to get a large group of people UFO hunting, us actually capturing on the day, and then us drawing a crowd from just the roadside, you know, just drawing a crowd from other people just joining in, you know, out of curiosity. What are you guys doing here with your cameras in the sky? Oh, we're recording UFO. Do you want to see? And we can just show people. Just pull out a large tablet or the laptop and just start showing people and just raise awareness. We can do that, like, without trying to raise awareness on a channel. We can go out there and literally talk to people, but we just need to create a crowd, actually capture some stuff. And a girl, Susan. It's a long old drive, I appreciate that, but if you can do it, fair play to you. I know when I had my car, I don't have it anymore, but when I had it 2 months ago, I was driving wherever I needed to get to. And yeah, I know people up and down the country, so if you need to stop off somewhere just to grab a bite to eat and have a cup of tea just before you carry on, just let me know. I've got friends in Birmingham, so right in the middle of the country, you can stop off there. I'm buzzing to meet all of you, share some good times with you guys, share some stories. We can make it a 2 or 3 day thing. If you know, there's no point travelling down for 1 day. We'll do it over at least a 2 day period, if not 3 days. And yeah, all you need really is a way of getting down here and your camera, your phones. You know, we'll charge everything up. We'll get some phone stands so that we're not holding our phones like mad. We'll get some garden chairs and some patio seating and stuff, and we'll take it out. We'll go wherever we need to go. I've got a few locations in mind already, and yeah, just enjoy it. It's funny, isn't it? I always describe this stuff like bugs and buzzing, and it's just the irony is people think that they are actually bugs. It's mad. And I think if we've got Karen with us as well, our remote viewer, I don't think we're going to go far wrong, to be honest. Karen's got a way of calling these things in without really knowing it, and I think it's just going to be really interesting. That's fabulous, Susan. That's fab. Like I say, we can work it out. I mean, what are we in now? March. Christ, it's going fast, isn't it? April, May. Oh, do you know what? We can probably sort something out by May or June. You know, it's coming around quickly, eh? Maybe before you know it, the summer's been and gone. So we probably should get our asses in gear here and try and sort something out. And I don't care if it's only 3 of us or 5 of us. You know, I don't. It really doesn't make a difference to me. I know for a fact me and Karen will definitely be doing it. Susan, you're up for it, so I'm fairly confident at least 1 or 2 more that live around here will be up for it. I feel like that we'll probably get a good 7 or 8 of us out on the first run, which would be brilliant. You know, that's already a good crowd. We're going to look like a bunch of nutters stood in a field somewhere, but that's all right. We've got the Lake District just around, not the Lake District, we've got the Cotswolds just down the road. So we can pull up right by a lake. I can speak to one of the lake owners, say, look, I want to do an event here, we'll get a barbecue going, here's some dosh, let us sit on your lake and film the skies. No light pollution, just nice scenery, nice bit of sky. But we need to find the dragons as well, so, you know. 4-man tent. So don't even go there. I've got tents and bivvies and bed chairs and everything. I used to be a fisherman, so I've spent many nights in the Cotswolds. Many nights. Welcome back, Tony. Yeah, man. Listen, we've got to get out here as a group, and we've got to get out there as a group. And I just want to. I'd love to share a couple of days with everyone, capture some UFOs, pull out the rum at 10 o'clock at night, just have a good time, cool them down. Maybe we'll have an experience together. Record everything we do, get it on the channel, and just roll with it. See what happens. We could go live. We could go live as well whilst doing the UFO shoot. We could have one camera on us, and all of us could be looking up, getting neck aches and stuff like that. Now, do you know what would be really cool is if we can get really tall phone stands, and we're all sat down on a chair, and then just have the phones in front of us pointing at the sky, and maybe we could plan it so that we've got different phones all hitting the same area of the sky, so we've got different angles. Maybe get a drone up there as well, so that we can bait them in. And if we can get the same capture on like 5 different cameras, that's irrefutable, right? Like, who's going to go against that and say, nah? You know, so together we can do it. I'm not joking, Susan. I'm not even joking, though. We need to do this. I don't care if I've got to have people bundled into my flat overnight. Mrs. will just have to put up with it. We've got to do this. And we've got to start the research ASAP, because time is ticking, and I'm telling you, this stuff is going to come out soon, and there's going to be a lot of people around us and around the UK that are going to have no clue, absolutely no clue, and we're going to have to help them, essentially. I'm not even joking. It sounds a little far-fetched, right? But if you think about this, and I keep saying it, these things are real, the evidence is overwhelming, and it is only a matter of time. It is inevitable that this comes out. I feel like the timing for this to happen is the best time, because it's being spoken about publicly on News Nation, in Congress, in Mexico, Peru, different places. It's only a matter of time. I do believe the ETs are pushing it. So good. good, because I don't do things by halves. Anyone that knows me knows I do not do things by halves. I'm all in, literally all in. So. And you know, like, it's frustrating, isn't it? Like, again, I don't mean to rant at any of the content creators, but isn't it frustrating that it's taken people so long, and it's just, you know, interview after interview and story after story. Why don't they just get out there and record? You know, why is it taking me to do this? I haven't even got the resources, but I'm going to do it because people aren't. It's just not good enough. So we'll try and set something up. We'll try and set up a date, or give a few dates out, and we'll try and make it like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so that, you know, it's back end of the week and everyone can sort of arrange that. We've got to give as much notice as possible, so we've got to try and get ahead of the curve here and pick days where we're going to get good weather. It's always a challenge in the UK, isn't it? It's good weather. Because let's be honest, if everyone turns up and it's a rainy day, we're going to end up in the pub. We should be filming the skies. Or we could set up a tent and just film from a bivvy, but it's going to be hard work, so maybe a gazebo or something. I don't know. We'll work it out. We're going to try and get sunny days. May, June. June will probably be the right time to do it, late May. So we'll figure it out. And yeah, Susan, definitely keep a seat for me because I'm not driving at the moment and I don't have a car. Hopefully I'll have one by then. I mean, I've got a car, but it needs repairing, and yeah, BMW costs a bit of money. So I'm at loggerheads right now, but we'll work it out. And I think the Cotswolds would be a really good location. It's a beautiful area. We've got a choice of so many different venues that we can just walk onto and have a look, you know, and film the skies. There'd be nothing wrong with that. So more importantly, they've got an on-site cafe and toilets there as well. It's kind of helpful when you're out in the middle of nowhere. Oh, bless you. That's what Karen said. She said, I'd offer you to take my car. She said, but how are you going to get here to pick it up? I was like, bless you, Karen. So I'm not taking your car. She goes, well, I don't use it that much. I was like, well, that's fine. I said, but maybe, you know, when we do a UFO hunt, I'll just get insured on it for a day, and, you know, because I'm going to need some wheels for that day. So yeah, we'll sort it out either way. And Mark said the same thing. Mark Cartwright over in Stourbridge, he said, look, need a car, we'll just sort something out, don't worry. But like I say, the goal, I don't want to repair the BMW that I've got. I don't want to buy another vehicle. I just want to get a van or a truck for the Undercover ET channel that I'll be doing all my research in. That's what I want to invest in next. So it does mean I have to go without wheels until I've got the money to get that truck, which is a bit shit, but it will happen. It will happen, guys. Susan, you've got me on Facebook, haven't you? So just message me when you've done a little bit of research or you've got any ideas. Just message me on there directly, and I can give you a yay or nay or point you in the right direction. Sun's beaming out now. Surely we're going to get something on the old camera. Just trying to sort the I've got buffering on my screen, guys, so I can't tell at the moment whether this is all working out properly or not. Just see if I can. Yeah, I will, buddy, don't worry. Oh, I will. Guys, what I'm going to do, I'm going to just stop the stream and then restart it, because I feel like the camera is just stuck. So let me restart the stream, and I will join me back there in 2 minutes. I'll get this restarted up.